Dear Ford Motor Company, we are the Equitable Detroit Coalition, the citywide Community Benefit Agreement, CBA, coalition representing a constituency of nearly 100,000 Detroiters who voted yes on Proposal A. Proposal A mandated strong and legally binding community benefit agreements on large projects that receive public subsidy. To begin, we acknowledge the hard work of community members and the Neighborhood Advisory Council, NAC, with the Ford Motor Company's Corktown project. We also recognize the pressure on the NAC and the community to cooperate and not offend Ford, given the unique role the corporation has played in Detroit and Southeast Michigan for the previous 100 years. Yet, we would be remiss not to lift up the fact that the fortunes of Ford Motor Company and the intergenerational wealth of the Ford family were in part built on the backs of labor and Detroit workers. The tensions that many Detroiters hold regarding corporate incentives is well known and documented. In a perfect world, these incentives would not exist. Sadly, the political reality is that you, Ford Motor Company, will prevail in your request for $240 million in public tax subsidies, successfully diverting millions of dollars from much-needed community improvements for decades to come. The community asked for up to $75 million in funds to support a broad array of community benefits, including affordable housing for the most vulnerable, neighborhood and infrastructure improvements, workforce training, scholarships, and other benefits. Your response was to offer a package of $10 million? This doesn't go far enough. Further, we want to remind you that while Ford is preparing for a successful future, many residents live in present-day Detroit where real people are being negatively impacted as part of the changes this and other private economic development projects bring with them. Less than a mile away from your project, there are households with families with children exist without water, are threatened with housing displacement, and possibly face forced removal from their community. The median income around the project area is only $23,160. On behalf of our constituent base, we urge Ford representatives to return to the table and renegotiate a real and legally binding CBA with community. We challenge Ford Motor Company to go further and agree to a CBA that is worthy of a $17 billion multinational corporation. If Ford wants to create tomorrow together, let's get real today with a legitimate CBA. Sincerely, the Equitable Detroit Coalition.